Hi, this is the economic capsule under the Voice of Heidie Calero. It's the day after Christmas, so happy holidays to everybody. I hope you have enjoyed Christmas close to your family and friends. Well, today we are going to talk about the graying of Puerto Rico's population. Did you know that in 1950, the median age was about 18 years of age? 2018, the median age is 40 years old. So we are a mature population. We would think more responsible, but facing enormous challenges of an economic depression, public debt default, under bankruptcy, under a fiscal supervisory board. Well, migration in quantities that had never been seen before, except maybe during the 1940s. So this has real implications in terms of consumption patterns, services. So let's look at the changes in our population. The next chart depicts the population pyramid. In 2006, we had 3.9 million people. All these steps are age groups, starting with 1 year old up to 85 years plus. The blue bars are males and the magenta bars are women. Notice this big segment in the middle, like the big tummy. That is the labor force. They are in the age group that participates in the labor market, and less on the top with the very old seniors. Let's look 12 years in the future. In 2018, we had dropped the population by 700,000 people to 3.2 million. Notice that this pyramid is on a diet. It's very slim, not only because of migration, but it is also because of the fertility rate, 1.2 live births per woman. And this has serious ramifications. Notice the labor force groups that are here in the 25 to 55 years old. It's very slim. Yet these top groups are the older age groups, and there are more women, especially the 70 plus, than men. Women outlive men, so that's an important consideration. Well, what are the implications for fiscal revenues, for that public debt, for housing? Let's look at which is the age group that is growing the most. And it's not only Puerto Rico, it's also outside the island as well, Europe, China, the United States. This next chart depicts that the group that is growing from 2010 through 2018, just in 8 years, the group that has been growing almost 22% is the age group of 65 plus. This group that is in the labor force has dropped 14% from 25 years through 44 years of age. And the younger groups, less than 25, have dropped the most, 30%, which will have enormous ramifications in terms of who will be paying for the social security of these baby boomers, of these 65-year-olds who will be retiring or who are retiring currently. Well, this age group has a face, and it's a female face. Notice that in this next chart, with the photo of this woman, the population 65 years and plus in 2017 represented 57%, almost 660,000 women of this population represented this 57%, more than half of the population of Puerto Rico. They did not have a husband present. Maybe they are widows, but they are living alone, and they have less than high school education, 46% of them, so not highly educated, and they have almost 49% of them have some type of disabilities that will be reflected in the increasing demand for health services. For women who live alone, what type of housing do they have? And all these age groups have even more of an interesting twist if we look at the different generations. Let's look at that graph, the baby boomers, and what are the consumption patterns of these baby boomers who were born 1946 through 1964. That is the yellow bars that you see here, and here are different categories of consumption. then Generation X, which was born in 1965 through 1980, and the millennials from 1981 to the present, which are reflected and depicted here in the red bars that you are looking at with the different categories. Well, these millennials like to spend more on food, not only at home, but eating outside. Doesn't necessarily mean that they're eating more nutritiously. They do not own a home, contrary to the baby boomers or even Generation X. They rent more. Notice here the red bar, they are renting more than, say, the baby boomers or even Generation X. They are hooked on the cell phones. As you can see here, it's marginally higher than the baby boomers or even Generation X. They like to spend on clothing, although Generation X also likes to spend more on apparel. But in transportation, they like to travel. This is not only internal tourism, but also outside Puerto Rico. That's interesting. They like to use more of their leisure time traveling. That is, provided they have the money to do so. And of course, in terms of health services, the millennials have the least demand for those health services. They think they are Superman and Superwomen. But the baby boomers are the ones generating or spending more on healthcare. So as 2019 comes to a close, just within a few days, and always there's a second chance with a new year, we have serious challenges ahead, which really warrant a meditation, closer look at a need for a strategic plan for Puerto Rico's economic growth, how we are going to renegotiate this public debt that allows the growth and not another debt default, and certainly how are we going to care for this 65-year and plus population that deserves better years in their golden age. Happy New Year to all of you.